Hello and welcome to Yoga with Megan. I'm going to be offering a workshop this weekend that is somatic movement for the shoulders and the neck. So I thought I'd do a couple of the practices that I'll be sharing this weekend in that workshop. Additionally, if you live in the state of Wisconsin, you may, like me, have been doing a lot of shoveling lately. So this is a nice practice to loosen up some of our shoveling muscles. All right, so what I recommend is that some of this is going to be done seated. If in any way you're fighting your body on the floor, my rule is always grab a chair. There's no reason to sit on the floor if you're not comfortable. So please grab a chair. And the other nice thing about the parts that are seated is you can do these at work as well. So we'll take a moment. If you'd like, you can flip your palms up. And first, just take any movements that feel good, just any spontaneous natural movements. You can move your head side to side or roll your shoulders around. Think of moving from your waist. Even though we're focusing on neck and shoulders, the waist is very important in this movement. So you want to feel movement through all of these areas. You can close your eyes. Just let your body go where it wants to without thinking about it. And then begin to slow that movement and come back to your still point of center where you feel completely relaxed. And so the idea is to stack the ears over the shoulders and the shoulders over the ribs and the ribs over the hips. You should sense that your base of support is coming from your sits bones and your tailbone perhaps too, but not into your sacrum. So if I'm in my sacrum, my pelvis is tilting back and I really want to align my shoulder girdle over my pelvic girdle. This is how we should sit anyhow. So spine is strong and tall. And because we do this practice to the breath potentially, go ahead and find your breath if you can. Breathe in and out of your nose. Remember that your breath is your window into your nervous system. So when we do somatic yoga, it's about communicating from the nervous system to the muscles. And you want to keep that peaceful, serene view. So if your breath is soft and comfortable, then you know that your nervous system is also. So breathing in and out, and you can begin to sense the breath in the nose. And begin to let the breath come into the base of the throat. So really focus that breath through the throat and the neck. Keep the tongue soft and the jaws relaxed. And you may want to set your intention for your practice. All right, so we're going to start with the shoulders. And then we'll go into the head and neck, the neck. Coming from the shoulders first, we're gonna do both arms together. We're gonna take hands together first, just to wake up the wrist. Take your hands together, make a little basket of your hands, and begin to make figure eights with your wrists. This does feel good after my shoveling today. So make those figure eights. You can do any of these movements with your eyes open or closed. And do a couple more of those. And then you can switch and go the opposite direction. And just sensing, so sensing what muscles you feel, what bones, just a soft clasp with the fingers. I'm getting some nice wrist cracks. All right. I'm gonna shake them out a little bit. I'm gonna do some gentle movements through my elbows. So I'm gonna extend my arms. I'm gonna reach through my fingers on inhale. And as I exhale, I'm going to touch the tops of the shoulders. And what I want to think about is moving from the elbows. I'm going to extend on inhale and touch the tops of the shoulders on exhale. And now sense the upper arm muscles. Yeah, just a few of those. And let that come down. We'll put that together a little bit. You're going to take the hands together, take the backs of the hands together, point your fingers at your heart. And this gets the whole arm moving. You're going to press the hands together slightly, lift the elbows up. And then as you inhale, you're going to take the arms out. You'll notice the hands want to come apart. Let them come apart slowly. And once you get fully extended, turn your palms towards me and your fingers out and then pull all the way back. So here's the top of my inhale. I feel lots of space through the front of my body. I'm going to exhale and come back. Take the backs of the hands back together, gently press them and draw them back in and feel my upper back open. So I'm inhaling and opening out, thumbs up, stretching my fingers as well. Feel it all the way from the fingers through the shoulders. And that's important to remember, is that the shoulders don't begin and end at the edge of our arms. It comes all the way through the chest, the middle of the sternum where I'm pointing right now, and the shoulder blades on the back, right? That whole area. And I'm inhaling and opening, and exhaling and closing. Just enough to feel the muscles, not pushing it to the point of tension in any way. Last one, inhale and open. Feel the chest expand. We've been doing a lot of huddling from the cold in Wisconsin too, so this is good to make some space in the front of the chest. So when we do shoulders, I like to address them separately. So we're going to go into the left shoulder first. So on the inhalation, I'm going to lift the shoulder up. So think of a clock. This is the 12 o'clock, and I'm going to lift it as high as it can go. I'll feel the sides, the sides of the body stretch, and the top of the shoulder will tighten a little bit. I'm going to exhale and slowly let it come back to its neutral. The next one on inhalation, I'm going to draw the shoulder back. So I'll feel some stretching through the front of the chest around the collarbones, and my shoulder blade will slide and tighten as it goes towards the spine. And then I'm going to release. Next one, I'll inhale, press the shoulder downward slightly, and the side body muscles will get short. The top of the shoulder will stretch. So that's my 6 o'clock, and then I'm going to release it. And then finally, the 9 o'clock, I come forward. The muscles in the front of the shoulder will shorten, and my upper back around the collarbone will open. And I release. We're going to do that 2 more times. So if you want, you can close your eyes, really focus on the movement. And also watch that you're not trying to use your elbow. Try to keep the elbow relaxed, really isolate the movement in the shoulder. So I inhale and go up, and exhale back down. Inhale back. There's my 3 o'clock. Exhale down. Taking it down on inhale from the shoulder, not the elbow. Exhale, release. And forward as you breathe in. And back. I'm going to do 1 more. Really opening up that circle. Here's my 12 o'clock as I breathe in. And then releasing. It's really hard for me to keep my eyes open. Take it back. And then release. Downward. Release. And forward. And your job is just to notice the muscles that are helping to make this movement. Even if it's not as big of a movement as what you're seeing in me, that's all right. Now I'm going to take those same movements. I'm going to go up and back and down and forward, but I'm going to roll it in circles. And watch where you try to skip out again. Try to make those full circles. Think of now all the numbers on a clock. Going fully around. The freedom of motion in that shoulder joint. And then if it's going well, you can switch directions. You could go up and forward and down and back. Just exploring that range of motion. Nice. All right, and then we'll let that left shoulder relax. All right, let's do the other one. And sometimes one is a little stickier than the other, so don't be surprised. So coming into the right shoulder, as I breathe in, I find the 12 o'clock, I'm lifting up. Feel the tightness through the top of the shoulder and the outer arm. And exhale. Let it come back to neutral. Inhale, draw it back. Feel the back of the shoulder blade tighten and the nice stretch through the pectoral region. And exhale, release. And going downward, top of the shoulder stretches. My side body muscles get kind of tight underneath my armpit, and then I release it. Next one is forward. That's your 9 o'clock. Feel those pectoral muscles shorten and your upper back open, and release. And then we'll do it 2 more times. Lifting up, 12 o'clock as you breathe in. Release down. Going back. Release. And down. Release. And forward. Release. And you can think of the inhalation as the effort. We're lifting or moving it in some way. The exhalation is the ease. The body's coming back to its neutral position. But you want to stay present to feel that neutral too. I'm drawing back last time around. And release. And downward. Release. Okay. Sit down. Sit. And then forward. And release. Nice. Now we'll smooth out those circles. We'll go up and back and down and forward. So you can picture not only the 12, the 3, the 6, and the 9, but all the numbers on a clock. trying to touch those. And if it helps you close your eyes, visualize those circles. You can help the brain to find those muscles just by visualizing it, staying present in the body, our felt sense. And then if you'd like, we can go the other direction, lifting up and forward and down and back. Nice circles with the shoulders. Awesome. All right, and then relax, feel the shoulders. So now that we have some of these muscles awake and mobile, we're gonna add on to that a little bit. So this next one is one of my favorites because it's so simple. You're gonna take your palms together, begin to hug the elbows towards one another slightly. And then as you inhale, you're hugging the elbows and lifting up, but you're also gonna let your elbows come apart because that's what they wanna do. And as the elbows come apart, palms down towards the crown of the head, draw the elbows slightly back. And then as I exhale, I'm coming back down and around. So it's like I'm making a circle around my upper half of my body. As I inhale, I feel my upper back open. The front of my chest will tighten slightly. And then I'm pulling back on exhalation, feeling my chest open, my upper back tighten slightly. And just noticing the difference between front and back as you take your arms around. Inhaling up and exhaling, pulling down and back. Take your time. Your breath will help to set the rhythm of your movement. Let's do one more time around. This feels so good after that shoveling today. Yeah. Last one. All right. The other one that I like to do with this, so this one I think of as if we're washing our shoulder blades. And the shoulder blades are really important in keeping that movement in the upper back and not getting into that slouchy position. So we want to find those muscles around the shoulder blades. Take your hands, clasp them into a little bit of a basket, and you're going to take your hands over your head. What often happens if we have any tightness in the shoulder is we compensate by bringing the head forward and rounding the back. If that happens, you can keep your hands down, or this one might not be for you because you want to keep that tall spine. That's part of it. We're supporting ourselves from the center of our spine as we move through the neck and the upper spine. So I'm taking my hands over my head and I'm just going to make some circles. I'm gently pulling on my fingers or tractioning my fingers. I'm going to make some circles and I want to feel the movement of my shoulder blades and also in the front around the armpits and the collarbones. Just making some nice circles, loosening things up. Yeah, and then you can switch and go the opposite direction, making those circles. Nice. And then relax the hands back down. Okay, we're going to start to get the neck involved with some movements, but before we get the neck involved with the arms, I want to do the neck on its own. So the simplest thing we start with is as you exhale, keep that tall spine. As you exhale, tuck the chin slightly towards the chest and bring the forehead forward. And as you inhale, lift back up. And I'm not forcing it, I'm just gently stretching the throat, letting my jaws drop open, and exhale, head back down. So just this nice lift on the inhalation, and exhaling back down. Let the jaws and the tongue stay relaxed in the eyes. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Just again, exploring your range of motion. Feel the stretch all the way through the back of the neck on the exhale, through the throat and the jaws on the inhale. And then coming back to our center position. Now we're going to do a little side to side. We'll do just the left side first. So as you inhale, you're going to turn. And the key is to keep the chin parallel to the floor as you turn the head. So I'm not dropping the head forward and turning. Even if it's just a slight turn, I'm rotating through the head on inhale and exhaling back to center. I'm going to continue to do just that one side. Inhaling and rotating and exhaling. And watch that tendency to drop the chin. So just keep it straight, just rotating. One more. And then back to the center. We'll go the opposite direction, so whichever way you went first, doesn't matter, go the other way. Inhale, keeping the chin parallel to the floor and maybe the soft palate slightly tucked. Look over one shoulder. And then exhale, let the head float back to the center. Never forcing it. Just feeling the range of motion and There's another spot you might notice that you have more range of motion on one side than the other. I'm rotating on the inhale and coming back. Last one, inhaling over the shoulder. And exhaling. And notice how you can even feel it in the shoulders themselves, not just the neck. All right. Next one will be a lateral stretch for the neck. So if you'd like, you can take, excuse me, Dan. He's got to move. Come here. Come here, bud. You can take your left fingertips, I won't mirror you, left fingertips into the floor. And I'm going to be bringing my right ear to my right shoulder. So just softening through the top of the left shoulder. Again, not a twist this time, so just a drop, just a lateral drop. So when I inhale, I'm going to drop my right ear to my right shoulder, so reaching it out slightly. And then exhale back to the center. And inhaling, ear to shoulder, and I'm just feeling that space open up through the left side of my neck, all the way under my ear, top of the shoulder. Exhaling back to neutral. Always think coming back to neutral. Inhale that response to the movement, and exhale, the body finds its way back. And just noticing when your muscles tighten, feel the little bit of contraction through the right side of the neck as the left side lengthens. This one we're going to do a little bit of a hold with. So next time, take it over and then fine tune it for yourself. So you might bring your chin slightly forward or back. Really find that spot through, you might have more than one spot, but find that spot through the left side of the neck. And just rest in that, keep relaxing. So I was pressing my fingers, but now I'm going to just let the top of the shoulder relax. Sometimes it even helps to take the right hand onto it. Sometimes we'll teach to wrap, the option of wrapping the right hand around. We can do this, but it's really important to press the head into the hand and draw the ear out, not push the head down. Don't force it down. So if that adds to it, you can also add the hand there. Otherwise, keep your right hand and just find that sweet spot. Relax the jaws. Feel a heaviness in the top of the left shoulder. We're going to add on to this. This is one of my favorite ones for the neck too. So you're going to take the left hand and it's going to go right on your heart. Imagine dragging your skin, your chest tissue down towards your left knee. So I'm going to gently draw it down. I'm going to lift my chin up just slightly, still keeping the ear over the right shoulder. So I can feel this right through the side of my neck. With just the right amount of feeling, right? You turn that volume up or down. And then once I find that spot, keep relaxing the left shoulder, dragging the chest tissue down a little bit. I can open and close my jaws. I'm doing that when I talk anyhow, but it might feel nice to open and close your jaws. You can also gently nod your head yes or no, really, really small micro movements. And just exploring this left side of the neck. Eyes are soft. And then release that left hand down and slowly pick the head up. Notice how heavy it is. Oh. And if my head goes where it wants to right now, it'll like stay here. I feel completely imbalanced. Sometimes that happens. So we'll want to do the other side. So right fingertips can go into the floor, or if you're in a chair, you can also just hang that. I forgot to mention that, my apologies. So fingertips can go into the floor. So lifting up tall, if you start to sink down into low back, remind yourself every now and again to lift up through the low back and the heart, shoulder girdle over hip girdle. And then we inhale this time, left ear to left shoulder, and exhale back. Just notice if one side is tighter or looser than the other. Inhaling ear to shoulder. Making sure we're not turning the head, we're just tilting. Ear right over the shoulder, so your gaze stays forward. Nice. And the next one, we'll take our hold. Inhaling ear to shoulder, I'm going to stay there. And I can fine tune it just by bringing the chin slightly forward. That usually brings the stretch more into the back of the neck. Or I can bring the chin slightly up, bring it more into the front of the neck. If I'm having a hard time getting this left shoulder to relax, just let the arm flap, or maybe even take your right hand to that left shoulder and weigh it down. Otherwise, left hand to the right shoulder. Otherwise, you can take the left hand, wrap it around so that the fingers are just above the ear, press the head into the hand and gently draw the ear out towards the edge of the shoulder. So only do that if it adds to the pose, not stressing your shoulder, but increasing space. Check on your breathing. Breathe into the middle and upper lobes of the lungs, all the way into the collarbones and the shoulder blades. Facilitate that breath into the space. I'm going to release my hand, release your hand if it's there. This is where we'll continue. You're going to take your right hand to your chest. Imagine gently dragging your chest tissue down towards the right knee. Then lift your chin up slightly, still keeping the ear over the left shoulder. I already feel it through my neck. It's hard to speak like this. So I'm feeling this nice, beautiful stretch right through the side of the neck here, and I can stay there. I can be still, or I can open and close my jaws. I can gently nod my head yes or no. No straining. Let gravity just keep that ear over the left shoulder. This one works really well for headaches too, I find, when I get tension headaches, which usually start up the back of my neck. And then you can let the hand come back down and slowly lift the head back up. All right, and see how your neck feels. Does it feel more equal on both sides? Okay. So now we're going to integrate some movements with head, neck, and shoulders. We're going to do an eagle arm position. So I'm going to take my left arm underneath my right, and if my arms won't wrap all the way around, that's okay. You can just take your hands to your shoulders. Otherwise, if you can, you're going to take the backs of the hands or even the palms together. So this is our eagle arms in yoga. But do the one that feels right for your shoulders. As you breathe in, you're going to lift your elbows up to the height or even higher than the collarbones. And as I do that, I'm going to take my gaze up too. I'm going to look up. And then as I exhale, my elbows come down towards my chest and my chin comes towards my collarbones. So I'm thinking of moving this whole space now. The whole shoulder girdle and the head and neck. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Let's do one more. Inhaling up. Feel that upper back open. And exhaling, letting it come back down. We're going to keep that position. Again, you may be here with your hands at your shoulders. And now we're going to do a side to side, like a clock ticking. As you breathe out, so this one, the exhalation is when we release. As you breathe out, let the left ear fall to the left shoulder and the arms fall to the right, so opposite directions. And I'm not pushing it, I'm just letting them fall, so it might be a very small movement. Inhale back to the center, and exhale, ear to the opposite shoulder of whichever way the hands are going. Inhale, center, and exhale, drop. Just letting it fall. So think of the weight of the head and the arms. Do one more to each side. Back to center. All right, and then relax. We'll take a little bit of a counter stretch after that one. So you may want to take your hands behind you. You can press your hands into the floor. If you're in a chair, grab the back of the chair and just gently lift your heart. You can take your head up slightly, draw the shoulders back. Breathe into the chest, the upper chest and lungs. Feel your heart move with your breath. Let that go. And then we'll do the opposite side. So you're going to take your right arm underneath the left. You can take the backs of the hands together if it's available. If not, hands to tops of shoulders, backs of the hands or palms. When you breathe in, you're going to lift the elbows up and take your gaze up towards the sky. And then as you breathe out, draw the elbows towards the navel center and chin down towards the chest. And feel that movement of the head, neck, and shoulders together. Inhaling and lifting up. Space between the shoulder blades and the back of the heart. You can breathe into that space. Inhaling up. And exhaling back down. Last one. Breathe in and lift up. And breathe out. And come down. All right, we keep the arms with this one. So it may be this position for you. but keep the arms, lift the elbows up to about the height of the collarbones if it's available. If not, then you should go to this cross arm. And now we're going to do that tick-tock. So as you breathe out, let the ear fall to one shoulder and the arms go the opposite direction. Inhale, meet back at the center. Exhale, gravity just takes you for a nice, sweet little ride to one side with the hands and the other side with the ear. Nice side to side. Keep the tops of the shoulders softened away from the ears. Last one. And back to the center. Release the arms. We'll take another counter pose. This time you can press hands on the floor, or if it's available, you can take your hands and clasp them together into a basket. Gently draw the elbows out to the sides of the mat or the chair and knuckles towards the floor. And feel that stretch through the front as the back stays broad. Yeah. And then let that go. You can roll your shoulders around a little bit. So we're going to do just a few things on the floor. So get your mats out if you'd like. You can put a blanket on top of your mats. Whatever leg position works for you. If you like to extend your legs, I highly recommend putting something underneath the knees so the low back is comfortable. But it's going to feel nice after being seated to let your back and spine feel the support of the earth underneath it. I prefer to keep my knees bent in what's called constructive rest. You could also let your knees fall together if you'd like. We're focusing on the shoulders and neck. So this next one, we're going to start by just finding some mobility through the shoulder blades. You're going to reach your palms up towards the sky. Face them towards one another. And as you breathe in, lift the fingers up towards the sky like you're going to touch the ceiling. And feel the backs of the shoulder blades lift. The center of the back will press gently into the floor. And as you exhale, draw the shoulder blades and the outer shoulders down. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, fall down. And just feeling that movement of the shoulder blades as they spread away from the spine as you breathe in, and draw slightly towards the spine as you breathe out. One more here. Head and neck can stay relaxed. And then let those come back down. We're going to switch. We'll come back to another one with arms overhead in a moment. But this next one too, it's really great to find our, what we call our internal and external rotation, the muscles that do that movement for our arms and shoulders. So you're going to relax your hands and your wrists, and you let your arms fall forward. So I'm very tight in my internal rotation, but when I let my hands fall forward, I'm going to keep this 90-degree angle. So not letting the elbows come down here or letting the hands fall out to the side. And you can see I'm quite a distance from the floor. This is where I'm tight. And you can use this to assess too. And then as I come back up, I'm going to pick them up and then I'm going to let them fall back. And again, just notice where the arms fall. We're going to do this in a movement, but we're going to alternate arms. So as I exhale, I'm going to let one hand fall down by my hip and the other comes overhead. I'm just letting them fall. Inhale, let the arms meet back to the center. I call this cactus arms. And exhale, let them fall. What you can imagine is that your arms are like rolling pins. And you're rolling the upper arm bones one direction and the other. So two directions. Inhaling, meeting at center. Exhaling, dropping. I can already tell this is something I need right now. My brain is saying, no, we can't do that. And I'm saying, yes, you can. And then we're going to add the head to this. So we'll start first by, as you exhale and drop the hands, let the head just roll towards that low arm. And then inhale back to the center. And exhale, let the head roll to the other arm. We're not picking the head up. I like to close my eyes for this one. And then the head rolls to the center as the arms pick up. Gravity is just letting the arms drop. Keeping the jaws relaxed. Even notice the space in the back of the skull as you roll from one side to the other. Feel those upper arm bones and the shoulder blades. And then you can switch and you can look at the hand that's upward on exhalation. See if that makes a difference, if it's easier or harder. So these are all just playing with whatever our habitual movements are. Reset those patterns. Do one more to each side. Awesome. And back to the center. Let your hands just fall into your body. You can keep this short today, or somewhat short for me, so we're going to do one more for the hands, neck, and shoulders. This one will also involve the lower body though. So the first part is I'll show you the arm position. You're going to take the arms up overhead, palms together. And without bending the elbows, now there's going to be more of a rotation. So I'm going to let the arms fall to one direction, and I'm going to feel, so I'm falling to the right, I'll feel my left shoulder blade lift up and the weight go into my right shoulder blade. Then I inhale back to the center and exhale, let the arms fall the other direction. Feel my right shoulder blade lift up, and notice my head is following it for now. So I'm coming back to the center, and I can feel a rotation through my upper waist and my shoulders. So finding that mobility through rotation. Even this on its own feels nice. Let the arm bones be plugged into the back so we're not reaching too much. Feel the weight of the arm bones falling into the shoulders. And then you can do this and look in the opposite direction without forcing the head into anything uncomfortable. Thinking of letting the shoulders roll from one side to the other. Okay. And then let the arms relax for a moment. You can roll them around a little bit. And we'll cross the right leg on top of the left, just like we're sitting in a chair. My left foot's on the floor. And I'm just going to let my arms stay relaxed. I'm going to let my legs fall to the left and then come back up. So I'm on my left pinky toe side. Feel my socks today. And then I'm going to let my legs fall to the right. Not forcing them. So I'm inhaling back to the center. There's the effort to lift the legs. And exhaling. Legs fall to one side. So now I'm taking that rotation and feeling it more in the pelvis. So this is starting to integrate the work with the upper and lower body. And we'll be doing a lot more of that in my workshop. The integration, we have to work with the upper body first. We want to get the pelvis moving with the upper body. But this is one of those integration poses. So I'm rocking side to side. Feeling that gentle motion. If in any way this is uncomfortable for your low back, you're not going to do it. But you feel the support of that left foot going from big toe side, back to center, whole foot on the floor, to little toe side. All right. And then let's do the legs the other way. So just uncross. Uncross and cross. Thighs together. Relax the weight of the legs. You can think of your right foot now. As they breathe out, I'm going to come onto the pinky toe side of the right foot, just letting my hips and the weight of my legs fall to the right. Inhale back to the center. And exhale, let them fall to the left onto the big toe side. No pressure, just a gentle rotation for the lower waist and the pelvis. Nice. Do one more to each side. Staying present in your breath. Maybe that was more than one. I must have needed more than one. All right, now let's go back to the other crossing. And this feels really good too on my back after shoveling and doing all those strange rotations we do. My sacrum never likes shoveling. So finding some balance. So I'm crossing my right leg on top of my left. My palms are together, just like we did with the arms before. So I'm letting my arm bones sink into my shoulder blades. Now, as I exhale, I'm going to let the hands fall to the right. So there's the rotation through the shoulders. Weight goes into the right shoulder, left shoulder lifts. But my legs fall to the left. The rotation of the pelvis is in the opposite direction. Inhale back to the center. I actually just did this one for an arm balance. But it's great, it is a somatic movement. Exhale to the arms to the left, legs to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale. So watch the tendency. A lot of times when I go into this now, I'm trying to push myself or I'll try to bend my elbows. It doesn't matter how far you're going, you just want to let the upper and lower body fall in opposite directions. And you can let your head go with the arms for a few. Let it ride along with the arms. But then you can also let your head go in the opposite direction of the arms along with the pelvis. And that changes things quite a bit. So I start following the hands, and now I'm letting my head go in the same direction of the pelvis. One more to each side. All right. That felt really good. Take a moment, you can roll around. And I encourage you to do that. You know, just let your body move the way it instinctually wants to in between. Sometimes it needs to readjust itself after these kind of movements. The right leg will stay where it is. Left leg crosses on top of the right. Relaxed onto that right foot. Feeling the floor underneath me. My palms will come together again. Letting the arm bones fall into the shoulders. So I'm not holding them up there. They're nice and heavy. As I breathe out, I'll be tipping onto the pinky toe side of the right foot. Legs and pelvis going to the right and arms to the left. This is my tighter way to go. Back to the center with hands and knees on the inhale. And exhaling and turning. And think of your waist as the center of your body. And the upper and lower halves of your body are going in opposite directions. Not being forced. You also want to watch that we don't drop the hands too far down. As best you can, try to keep the arms straight and the hands right over the front of the chest or wrists straight off the fronts of the shoulders. So I've started naturally. My intuition takes me into the head following the hands, but I also want to try the opposite. So I'm going to try to switch it. Doesn't want to switch this time, but I'm going to let my head go with the pelvis. Back to the center. And head following the pelvis. Arms going in opposite direction. I think I got it. Just breaking down those patterns of movement, staying present in your body. Last one. And back to the center. You can uncross your legs. Feel free to lay on your mat in whatever position suits you for Shavasana. I always recommend Shavasana. If you have the time, please do. Really important when working head, neck, and shoulders. Check the position of the arms. So is it most comfortable to have your hands on your body? Do you like your arms to your sides, and should the palms be up or down? Because that has a lot to do with it. Or pinky fingers down. You can slide arms more to your sides. You could even do arms overhead if that's comfortable to create more space in the chest. Gently let your head go side to side. I like this position of arms for me only because it facilitates more space in my upper chest. And being present in your arms and shoulders and head and neck. Even allowing your breath to fill the middle and upper lobes of the lungs and the back of the body. Soften the throat. Relax the eyes into the head. Relax the tongue. You may want to breathe into the center of the heart. And as you breathe out, image the breath going into the throat and the neck, and then into each of the shoulders and down the arms and all the way out the fingers. So the inhale can fill the heart center, both the front and the back. So in the chest around the collarbones and also between the shoulder blades. Feel that space on the inhale. And as you breathe out, let the breath go into the throat and the neck, down each shoulder, through the arms and out the fingertips. You can use any image of the breath that works for you, a color, a temperature, a sound. Please enjoy this quiet space in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. Namaste.